So thank you guys for joining this call again. So the idea of this internal learning session was to have a presentation around proposal writing. So just an heads up, like this learning session is kind of like the basics of writing a proposal, and is to kind of encourage everyone to write proposals, especially for the SuperUMAn DAO and gaining integrations. So like I usually tell everyone that everyone can be a writer, but to be a writer, you kind of need to know the guides. And the idea of this session is to give the guides, the basic guides on writing proposals. So I envision us having another learning session on proposal writing, but this is more of like the governance structure, how to vote and snapshot. This is more of like writing a proposal for KPI options, especially when trying to get like a potential integration for the DAO. So by the end, before the end of this call, the goal for this call is to make sure everyone understands the general definition of proposal writing, note steps in writing a proposal, to differentiate between the types of proposals and writing proposals on KPI. Um, so hopefully everyone should understand this by the end of this call or by the end of the session. Okay, so let's start. So, what is a proposal? So, a proposal is a document that tries to persuade readers to implement a proposed plan or approve a proposed project. Then I was like, basically, the writer convinces the reader that the proposed plan is worth doing and will result in tangible benefits. So, the idea of this proposal of a topic is that for you to have an idea, or for you to try and encourage someone to invest in your plan or your project, you kind of need to set up a proposal. So by setting up a proposal, you're kind of letting the organization know your plan and your vision. We are trying to attract investors to your project. And for the Superman, when we're writing a proposal, we're trying to pitch out KPI options to other DAOs. So that's why proposal writing is very, very important, and it's quite important for everyone to understand the basic of writing proposals. So the idea of this proposal also is that it's not just for ambassadors. Yeah, ambassadors team should write proposals to whenever they have potential integrations, but as a superhuman, everyone should have like the basic knowledge of proposal writing, and anyone can step up to actually write a proposal to get an integration. So that's the definition of a proposal. Okay, so moving on, ways of presenting proposals. So for we superhumans, we can present proposals on a doc. It can be written on a doc, like a document. It can also be presented as a slide presentation, just like what I'm doing currently. But right now, um, I'm not making a proposal. Like right now, it's just like a presentation on how to make a proposal. But when writing or trying to create a proposal, you can also present it as a slide. It could also be presented as a video or animated video. It could be written as a text. So let's say maybe you just join the Discord server. You can write the proposal as a text instead of going to like create a document or a slide presentation. You can simply make a proposal as a text. So these are like the different ways you can write a proposal. Moving on. Then we have types of proposals. The next slide will explain the definition of each, but currently we have majorly like 6 types of proposals. We have solicited proposals, we have unsolicited proposals, We have internal proposals, we have external, we also have continuation on non-competing proposals. We also have renewal or competing proposals. Then moving on to my next slide, I'm gonna explain uh, like an idea of what this types of proposal mean. So for the internal, you can check it out. It's written to someone within your organization. So the example of an internal proposal for the SuperUMAn DAO are like the governance, proposal that you pass on to snapshot or discourse for voting. So that's like an internal type of proposal writing. Then like that internal, I kind of want us to have a separate call to, talk more about that. Then for the external, it's written to someone outside the organization. So these are like jobs of like the ambassadors or the campaigns team, how they try getting integrations for the DAO, you know, um, reaching out KPI option to different DAOs. So these are like external. This is like the external type of proposal writing. Then we have the solicited um, proposal type. It's intended for readers, like readers has asked for proposals or ideas. So the idea is that let's say a reader or someone that maybe like heard about your organization, like is trying to ask for an idea of your organization is about. Then for the unsolicited, so its intended reader has not asked for proposal or ideas. So we also have unknown solution. A problem is identified, research will be conducted to find a solution. In the known solution, writers has an idea to implement research. Research will be conducted to check feasibility. But the main form of proposal writing for the SuperUMAN DAO is mainly like the internal and external, and that's where we should focus on. So right now, I want to like talk more on the external side of proposal writing. Then hopefully the next call we'll talk more on the internal side of proposal writing. Before I move on to the next slide, does anyone have any question?
Oh yeah, we can hear you, Ben.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
All right, awesome. So the importance of proposal writing to other DAOs. Why do we actually write proposals, or what's the importance of other DAOs getting a proposals from the superhumans? Why do they need a proposal from us? So the first one is it gives the DAO or community a clear understanding, concept of what the project is about and what we have to offer. So this means that whenever we write proposals, it's not just for our own benefit, like it also helps the DAO to understand our project. It's whenever we're trying to pitch out, we have different products we're trying to pitch out there. Or I'm going to use KPI option as a typical example. So let's say we're trying to pitch out KPI options. We need to we're trying to help the DAOs to understand the concepts, like so they don't get confused on what our product is about. That's why we need to make our um, proposal very very clear. Then another thing is a good proposal will attract good investors. So whenever we have a clear or written proposal, we have potentials of attracting, good DAO investors or to try and like get potential integrations, for them to be convinced that okay, yeah, the product is really impressive and it's worth a try. So in our proposals, we need to clearly define what we're trying to pitch out there. Then it's also as a reference to for organizations or DAOs. This means that let's say there's like a weekly report or like a monthly report on project they're working with. They could just simply refer to the proposal we wrote, or maybe they want to just check how the DAO is going. They can just simply refer to our proposal. They can also use our proposal to attract other get the attention of other DAOs. So they could also use the proposal we wrote to them as a reference, to attract to pitch out KPI options, for example, to other DAOs. It's very, very important. Then moving on. So I also wrote like the importance of proposal writing as superhumans. So what are we gonna gain from writing proposals to this DAOs or to this um communities or to these organizations? So it helps us give an accurate budget guide plan to DAOs. So when we're writing proposals, we're trying to actually convince them on why they should invest in the product or why they should actually integrate with us, right? So definitely we need to give a guide plan. We need to make sure we break down all the plans in that proposal to give a clear understanding of what the proposal is about or what KPI option is about in the proposal. Then it also allows anyone to be able to propose an idea and get feedback almost immediately. So this means anyone that steps up, that wants to actually write a proposal or wants, you've seen a potential in DAO that can be integrated with us. Um, you can simply propose that idea and get a feedback almost immediately. Once you've talked to the right person in charge, you can get a feedback almost immediately. Then ability to make formal uh, ability to formally suggest changes to the DAO infrastructures. So this also helps. These are like the importance of proposals as we superhumans. Then I didn't have it there, but it's as a superhuman we can officially get an integration. We can get investors, we can get people that are ready to like that convinced that know more about what the superhumans do. So this is also the importance of proposals as superhuman. Then moving on. So we have some steps to consider when writing a proposal. We need to consider some important or basic steps when trying to write a proposal. So I highlighted a few, and the first one is knowledge or research. So it is important to have knowledge of UMA or superhuman products. It's important to also have a good understanding about the DAO you're proposing to. So the idea around this is that when trying to write a proposal, you need to first of all understand what your own DAO is about. You need to understand what the superhuman DAO is actually about. Because there's a saying that a blind man cannot guide a blind man. So this means that when you are trying to write a proposal to convince other DAOs, for example, you need to have the understanding of your own DAO of your own project. So, when you just join the Superhuman, you need to maybe go to the education team, understand what the Superhuman or UMA products are about, have the ground knowledge. Then that's like the first important thing you need to do. You need to really understand what KPI options are about. Then you also kind of need to understand the basic um, idea around the DAO you're writing to. Let's say you found a DAO online and you feel like, okay, yeah, this DAO is going to be like a potential. It's very, very good, and you feel they could use Superhuman products, and we could also have them integrate with us. You also have to kind of know the basic knowledge around them. Just skim their sites. For example, read a little about them. Um, know why they feel. You should understand why you feel they can integrate with us. So it's very, very important to make your research about them, and you should also make your research about the UMA or the SuperUMAn product. So this once you have the basic knowledge of the UMA or SuperUMAn product, and you have the basic knowledge of the DAO you're writing to, or you're writing a proposal to, trust me, you're going to be very awesome, because it will be very, very clear. You'll be able to understand, and you'll be able to make sure the DAO you're writing to understands everything you're trying to pitch out there. So this is very important. And like I said, the idea of the whole presentation is to have at least almost everyone understand the basic knowledge of writing a proposal. So this means everyone should be able to write a proposal, right? So yeah, this is like the first step to consider when writing a proposal. Then moving on, resources. So it's important to think about materials you could add to further explain your proposal, like graphical presentations, like infographics, like images, and and so on. The idea around this is when writing a proposal, or when trying to create like a slide presentation, for example, you could also add resources, like infographics, images. Some people even add like GIF, so that you kind of attract. It also further explains, or it gives an extra explanation of the written words. So what this means is that, okay, for example, we SuperUMAN currently have infographics around KPI options. We have images or designs designed for the product of UMA or SuperUMAN. So when writing those kind of proposals, you can simply just add those infographics, and they could just it's a quicker way for them to gain the knowledge, or to understand what your proposal is about. So like there are different ways people learn. We could learn through visual, we could learn through audio, through what's it called now? I think audio visual, I guess. So that's why it's also important. So when trying to like convince someone, you should also have like consider resources to use. Moving on, the format. So there are different types of proposals. You should use you should determine the content of your proposal and consider your recipient. So the idea around this is that there are different ways you can write a proposal. So just simply use your own format. You can use a simple format. You can consider using a simple format. Um, you should also, since you've made a knowledge about the DAO you're writing to, you can actually use that to consider the type of format you should use. So, for example, let's say you're writing to some people that like a DAO a new DAO that doesn't really understand much about crypto. You should consider the format of your proposal. You should consider your language. You should consider your tone, so that it won't get them confused. Then let's say you're writing to an experienced DAO, for example, you should also consider those stuff I just mentioned, your speech, your language, your tone. You should consider the format you should use when writing those proposals. Moving on, yeah, purpose. So there's a need to clearly define your purpose, your audience, and your tone. So this means that you should ask yourself the big question: why am I writing this proposal? Once you've asked yourself the question, it gives a purpose, then you tend to understand the importance or the reason behind writing that proposal. So there's a need to clearly define your purpose. And once you understand your purpose, it gives a better understanding, or it gives a better knowledge of what you can write in that proposal. And once you have a purpose, you're not only helping yourself, you're also helping the reader to understand what your proposal is about. So the how to write a proposal. Then so we currently, like when you're writing a proposal, we should consider the brand guides. We should consider what, like I said, once you have a knowledge of what the SuperUMAn DAO is about, you should consider the color, the font, you know, there are so many things you should consider. What the mission of the SuperUMAN DAO is about. You should understand the mission. You should understand the brand itself. It's also helpful to read past proposals to help format your own proposal. So let's say you're new to writing a proposal. You can also just check out some proposals written um, in the like proposals written so that you clearly understand how you could write your own proposal, or the format you can use in writing your own proposal. Does anyone have any question? Okay. So I when writing a proposals, we need to consider the 7 C's. So we currently have clear, coherent, concise, cautious, concrete, and complete, then correct. So what I mean by clear and coherent is you shouldn't confuse your reader with unclear ideas or an illogically organized structure. Like you shouldn't confuse your reader. You should try and make it as clear as possible. You should make the reader understand it easily. Then for concise and cautious, you shouldn't annoy your reader with inappropriate tone, or you shouldn't make it hard to read. You should try and make it very, very concise, and you should be conscious. Then for concrete and complete, you should just avoid vague generalities. You should try and give specifics. You shouldn't leave out unnecessary information when trying to be concrete. Or it should be complete. Your proposal should be complete. You shouldn't leave out unnecessary information. You should try and be as complete as possible. Then for correct, you should try and be factual. you know don't undermine your professional ability by neglecting grammar or spelling. Spelling is also very important when giving a proposal, because um it kind of gives an image of what your organization is about. You shouldn't also include inaccurate information. You should try and make sure you get your proposal proofread, or you should just get it edited. You should also have more eyes look at your proposal before finally giving it to the DAO or to the organization. So you should just try and consider the 7 C's when writing a proposal. Um, so then also I also consider the SMART. So when writing a proposal, you should be smart, and by being smart, the S stands for specific, the M stands for measurable, the A stands for attainable, the R for relevant, and the T for time based. So we should try and consider this smart when writing proposals, because it's very, very important. Then Um, so for additional points, I'm just going to add a few of my own additional points, and we could also have more people, jump in, and they could also add a few points. So my own additional point is that we should try and remain positive and constructive. So here's the thing about proposals: you're trying to improve the situation, you're trying to help yourself. You should try and remain positive. You shouldn't be confused. You shouldn't just be confused. You should just be remain positive when writing a proposal, so that when the reader is checking it, the reader gets impressed, the reader gets encouraged to actually invest in your project. Then make your introduction very logical. Try and make it objective. Um, don't start off sounding like an advertisement, because some proposals are like ads. Some proposals are like scam. You shouldn't start by sounding biased. um you know don't Some people get pissed when they see like advertisements kind of a deal. We are not advertising, but trying to actually improve their own DAO with the SuperUMAn product. So we shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't sound like an advertisement kind of thing. Then we should also learn how to plan when trying to make a proposal. We should learn how to plan. Um, how is it gonna be achieved? Try and get an outline set. Try and make a research. Making a research, just important stuff. It helps plan ahead. Then the benefits, the deliverables. Um, so like this are important stuff to consider too when writing a proposal. Um, so moving on. So wrote I kind of copied the link of some examples of proposals written by the superhumans, and yeah, we could check that out in the slide. I copied the link and pasted it in the text up so you can check it out. Yeah, that's that. And we have the sightings, like the link I used to kind of, as a reference. Then we're moving to the questions. Does anyone have any question or any additional points to presentation?
Where would I go to put in a proposal if I wanted to put in a proposal for KPIs to another DAO?
Yeah, so if you wanna put out, like, I noticed that there is a thread. We have threads that keep track of DAOs when we're trying to like reach out to them. So when we create the proposals, yeah, or when we create a proposal, we can have more people actually like check it out. And once it's been preferred and it's finalized, I guess we will just reach out to the right person in the DAO, then we could, have it sent there. So it's like, reaching out to the right person and giving them the proposal.
My tip would be when you go to a DAO, they usually have a Discord where they hold their governance forum. So always look for, or not Discord, sorry, Discourse. And you could always go there and figure out where the proposal would go for the governance if you want to put one in there. And then make sure you put it in the right category also. They'll have like a certain category for new proposals. You have to watch what you do in the discourses because, you want to put it in the proper spot and that way it gets the most views also. And sometimes they get upset if you just start putting your proposals everywhere. So maybe even speak to somebody with see where you put a proposal up for the governance, and and then follow through with it. Check on it every day and see if there's any comments, and just stay involved.
Yes, thank you very much for that. So,
Anybody else have any questions? Dead coins. Appreciate you chiming in, bud. Anyone else have anything?
I think it was quite all right. And probably nobody saying anything by the moment.
You think it was just that good? It was good. You did a good job. Is Timmy, is there any other parts or is that the end?
that's the hand.
That's the end? Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, I sent the link to the text up so you can have it checked. Yeah.
So what was the so you've been doing proposal writing for the DAO?
Yeah, I've written a couple of proposals to different DAOs. Um, yeah, and I'm also going to write one real quick, but not now, but after this call, anyways, I kind of cited this DAO, and I plan on writing a proposal to the DAO. So the idea of this learning session was to have everyone to kind of guide everyone to write proposals. It doesn't have to be just the ambassadors writing proposal to other DAOs.
As far as just the proposals, like for our DAO as well, like we were talking about all these things and talking about how there could be multiple proposals for things. So you really could have anyone out there in the DAO writing proposals with good ideas, right?
Yeah, definitely. And another thing is, we need to encourage, just like the mentorship program, JM. So when
Yeah.
we encourage anyone to write proposals, especially let's say recruits or recruit that recently became a SuperUMAn, they can write a proposal, and we have experienced people to go through it to kind of encourage them. So in the content team, we have like the editors, and those editors kind of give back they give feedbacks to content created. So we have these experienced people give them feedbacks, and it kind of encourages them to actually do more. And the ambassadors team needs more ambassadors, and the idea of our ambassador is also like to get potential integrations for the DAO. So by having more hands, by having more people know about proposal writing, knowing about how to get potential integrations, we could have these guys go there, and since they understand the basic knowledge around this, we could have more people create proposals, get um, we could have new leads around integrations. So that was like the idea around this presentation.
Do you think that there could be something where people who write proposals could take a recruit that was interested in it and kind of work on the project together with them?
So can you repeat that? I didn't get that.
Sorry, do you think there's an opportunity where people that are writing proposals could ask if there's a recruit that's interested in learning to write proposals and they could work on one together just for like learning?
Yes, for sure. I think that's a very, very good idea.
I think if we asked, who was interested, we'd probably get a pretty decent response. We just have to find people to pair them with that were working on proposals,
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. Okay, well, cool. Well, that's something we can look at. I appreciate that.
It's a good point too to make sure that everything's written correctly and that that it does make really good sense. Read it a couple times over because it's not like words. People forget. Think about it. It'll be sitting there for a while and be looked over by a lot of people. So that's why it's very important to, just cross your T's, dot your I's, and look professional when administering a proposal to a governance, another governance, or any governance, because it's going to live there for a while.
That's a good point, Dead Coin, and that's another good question. I think Timmy is, if people are writing proposals, can they bring those to the editors team and have someone look over them?
Yeah, we have skilled editors in the content team, and if we have more and writing proposals, we can simply tag the editors in the content team, and they will proofread it. And we could also have more people maybe from the ambassadors team to also like just have a quick proofread, and once it's checked from errors, from errors, sometimes you can't be perfect. I mean, no one is perfect, but we could have little errors. I actually noticed some errors in this slide that I just gave out. So uh, so that's what I kind of mean. So we could have the content team simply like proofread it, and once it gets checked and it's confirmed and it's okay, yeah, we could have that given out to other DAOs or proposed. We could have it proposed. So the content team can really be helpful around proposals.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stop streaming. But like I said, the slide is in the text hub. So if you want to check it, you can simply go there. So yeah. So that's all I got. I'm going to work on the second part of the proposal writing, and I'm also going to give a deeper explanation around proposals and around how the superhumans or we superhumans write proposals, both internally and externally. So thanks a lot for listening and joining in to this learning session. I really appreciate you guys taking your time to be here. So that's all I got for now. See you guys soon.
Hey, I guess I got one more question, Timmy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
you know if anybody had talked about working on a proposal writing Moodle course at all?
So I asked Neon Demon for that, and currently he told me it's just Fully Cup that handles it, or we could have more hands, and I could also support this. Like I could also help my own way of having it on the module course.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a good idea to have if we're saying that we'd like to have people to learn and encourage everyone in the DAO to be able to write proposals. That might be a good way to do it. So that's something we certainly can look in. I'll add it to the list here.
Yes, definitely.
Hello, Timmy.
Hello, Amadex.
Good evening. I have a question, and it's based on going out for integration as an ambassador. My question is, I think in one of the threads, though it's been a while, I read about the thread. I saw something relating to going into a DAO, talking to them, being active in the DAO, and asking questions and listening uh, to them about their goals. And now the question I want to ask is, where does the proposal writing comes in? Do we need a consent from the DAO itself before the proposal can be written, or you just write the proposal while the DAO is still under your study, so under your watch, or I don't know which is the right word to use. And secondly, how long do we need to stay in a DAO? Try to make research in a DAO before we pitch out KPIs and products to them. Those are my questions.
Okay. Thanks for asking the question, Amadex. What I feel is actually it doesn't. I don't really think that there is a timeline for you to actually stay in a particular DAO to research. You just have to do it when you're free or at your own decision. Like what I mean is, like I said in the proposal or in this presentation, you have to make a research. So this means that you should try and gather as much knowledge as possible about the DAO you're trying to what's it called? Trying to pitch out KPI option to. So what this means is that take your time, make a research about that particular DAO. Then once you also have the knowledge of the SuperUMAn DAO, you can simply and also we are like a family in the SuperUMAn DAO. So once you have like a lead project, you can simply go to the campaigns team and we could, they could have the thread created for you. And we could also have more hands working on that particular lead or the lead integration. So it's if you feel like you need help, the superhumans will always be ready to help you. And by knowledge wise, you can take your time. You can go to the website. Most DAOs usually have a website, a Discord, usually have resources links, so you can take your time and make that research. I mean, someone can actually make a research within just 2 days or 3 days. It just depends on how active or how free you are to do that. So I wouldn't give you a specific timeline actually. You just do it at your own discretion.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for asking the question. Okay, since we don't have anyone asking any question or have any question, I guess we could just call it a day here. Thanks for joining this call, guys. I really appreciate it. See you next week, another internal learning session. So have a nice day.
Thank you,
Good job.
Tim.
Good job, Timmy. Good job, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Everybody take care.
Bye, guys.